All right, well, welcome to the live. We're 5 minutes early, but I'm just going to show the mega live here. I've had some fish around here. I had a really nice fish coming in just a few seconds ago. Fish right there. Got 4 people in here. Good morning to you guys. Welcome. We'll start up here in a couple of minutes, but in the meantime, I'll share what's going on. I could just watch this all day on a video. If you use any kind of a flasher or helix or whatever you use, this is what you should be looking at all day. Here comes one. Bite it. Come on. Newt. Come over here then. Not such a big fish. Now he's gone. 23 people out there already. Hi, 23 people. If you have any comments or anything, just type them in. I hope I got it set up that way. We'll start and I'll try to answer any questions you might have about anything. If I need to clean that screen off a little bit. Hold still, there we go. Hey, Doug. 21 days you'll be back up here. That's good. Morning, Stevie. I could zoom this in a little bit more, but then what would that do? Well, we're still a couple minutes out. Let's try this. Zoom on that. There you go. There's my screen. There's the fish part. Now let's try turning it around. Yeah, that's not so bad. Carl must be out. They lost a nice one at the hole. I've had a couple of nice ones on already this morning. Aloha from, southern Minnesota. Sure, Mike. Got me all going. I'm not sure in Hawaii. You get interference from other flashers. Yeah, I don't. You know what's cool about this is you don't have to use another flasher in this house. The holes go straight left to right. I just put this in the middle and we watch all of the lines on that screen right here. See, here's my 2 lines, and I'm on the left side here. This is my left line, that's my right line. So if you were sitting next to my right here, your lines would be right here and right there. So yes, as smart as these guys are for making these wonderful products, why can't they get rid of interference? Hey, Kevin. Hey, Carl. Terry Bain. Good morning, Terry. Now, I got out here this morning, and I had lines in the water at 20. Well, we're starting, I guess, right now, right? We're just still a bit early. I got out here this morning at 20 to 7. I had lines in the water, all right? And it was cloudy. And it's a little bit blustery here this morning. It's cloudy and breezy. And, boy, there's fish right away. As usual, 10 seconds in, I had a first fish. It was this long. Keep my fingers to the screen. It wasn't very big. And there are other ones, but then, heck, I've got a 15-inch sauger and a 14-inch sauger in the bucket already. And I've had some nice fish on. Corey, good morning. So far it's been good. And we've been doing really well out here. But my normal morning starts at 7:30. When you get out here, you get lines of water by 20 day, because it's pretty daylight by then already, which is awesome. And then it goes till 10. 10 peters right down. Now, if you guys sat out here all day, I'm sure fish would go here and there, off and on all day, all right? And then again, late in the day, come out at 4, fish till dark. There's going to be another nice run. So since I'm out here almost every day anyway, I'm not going to sit from 10 until 4. Wonder what the heck to do. If I had a day to fish, I would be out here and I'd hit them hard. But, this is just awesome. So, welcome. Geez, 84 people here already now. It's 9:01. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I've got fish coming in again. I'll see this. Oh, I got to show you this. I'm sorry. I'll swing this over here again. Okay. There, now you can watch that screen. The fish are there. Right there's one. But you get a lot of them that come in that just aren't interested in anything. This one's swimming back and forth. They're not big. But I've had some nice ones come in this morning that weren't interested in anything. And I've had a couple of nice ones bite that I just didn't get, which that's the way it goes. Danny Noonan. Oh, Jeff Berg. Hey, Jeff. Dave Williams. FedEx starts a lot sooner. God bless him. It's hard to get those Temu packages without FedEx. Dave Nelson. Oh, good. Yeah. Birch Beach, not too far down from me. That's good. And Dinger, he was wondering to get out from Birch Beach. Yes, you sure can, and you'd better. Did you use the Helix 9 before getting the live? No, I used the Helix 7, but the Helix 9 comes with the ice bundle. Get the whole thing all at once. And I'm glad you asked that question, because you should get it that way. If you get one for the boat and try to convert it to an ice unit, you're gonna have issues, all right? And you don't need issues. But if you buy the ice unit, you can bring that in your boat and use it in the boat, no problem. Punta Cana. Ben, you're just bragging now. Jeff Hallett. Matt Bauman. Morning, Matt. I got more fish in here again. Come on up, bite me. Catch one. He's going to bite. There he bit right there. He's on, but he is not going to stay on, I don't think. No. There he goes, see? Very little fishy. Little guys, and I'm kind of glad they do it. They somehow hang on. I don't know what they're hanging on to, but they'll swim off to the side, back the other way, and then if you ever set the hook, they just pulls your minnow off. This is that same fish on my jigging spoon. I'll show you what I've got down here this morning. Hey, Bubba. Morning. Mike from Omaha. Got the same fish just running around bugging me about everything. I don't know if there's even bait. There he goes. From Walhalla. Hey, Brian. Whoop. Here he is. Evidently, I've got bait on this one yet, because this fish is falling. Right there's a fish. He was falling. He turned around. Come on back. Well, yeah, these aren't big fish, but they're what's around right now. Come on, bite it. Hey, Jeff. How are things in St. Paul this morning? 110 people on the live. Good morning, everybody. Here, I got this one. You can see him coming up on the Mega Live screen. Can I just hold you right in here? There we go. It's about a 10-inch walleye. And off he goes. So there, we've been on the live for 5 minutes and we caught one already. I was thinking I would start the live and at 9:01 get a big sturgeon on and have it on for the whole hour. but can't happen now. Benjamin. I'm going to talk about conditions here in a little bit, but Ben, I would planning a trip for next weekend. Sounds like a really good idea. Corey Hutton at Long Lake Bait and Tackle, the tackle leader in northwest Wisconsin. Intend to use my Helix 10 next year on the ice. What are the issues using it this way? Well, you've got if you've got the Helix 10, and if it's a Gen 4, you can use it with the Mega Live. But you need a power source. You've got to get a battery. You've got to have the pole. You've got to have everything, and you've got to have something to hold your Helix onto, right? You need all that. If you buy the ice bundle all at once, you get all that stuff. And you can take that off and slap it in your boat easier than you can take it off your boat and put it on the ice. That's all I'm saying. If you already got the 10, go ahead. It should work fine, but it's just easier to do it. Barron, I think it's Barron, Wisconsin. How's the bite? The bite's pretty good. Frank Comstock. How's the weather looking here? You know, before I started here today, I looked at the weather, so I figured someone would ask. A week ago, got a fish on here. A week ago was a whole different story. It was 30 degrees every day. Oh. You can buy an ice bundle. Yes, you can. You can buy the whole ice bundle package and just put your Helix on it. But it's all the stuff that you would get. And I think it's $2,100. So I don't think you save. I don't think that you save anyway. But the Ice Helix comes with the Helix 9. All right, if you want a 10 or a 12, or if you got a Solix or something, then go ahead. If you're handy, you won't have a lot of trouble. But not being real handy, I've got fish coming in here like crazy now. How far do you fish off the bottom? You appear to be 1.5 feet off or so. Yes, I am further up off the bottom since I got the Mega Live than I used to be. I'm going to lower this down right now. Watch the bait on the left. It's going. I've got 2 fish coming in on it. So with my flashers, I'd run that bait about there. But with the Helix, well, they're up a little bit high right now. Anyway, I should lower this down. But you see, the fish, if they're interested, they don't have any problem coming up to the bait. If I'm up 1 foot or 2, they're coming through here pretty fast. Hope I don't miss anything. But yes, as long as I can see what's going on with the fish, I can be up a little higher. It's fun to have more room to watch them. That fish is right underneath my jigging spoon right now. I better check this. I'm sure there's no bait. There is no bait on this. I'll show you what I've got down anyway, right? Here's the, it's a Lindy Frosty. That's what it is. And I've had this one for 15 years, at least. It's still pretty good. It originally glowed in the dark. I'm not sure it glows in the dark anymore. But this has been good. And I'll show you the other line here in a minute because that's something that you want. But I'm going to go back to the weather thing before I get too far off topic. Yeah, I mean, I've got some new Frosties, probably 15 years old, but I've still never used them. They still look like new, but heck, this has been a good bait. I don't use it a lot, but I put it on until I get mad at it, and then I haven't yet. It seems like it works just as good as anything else. My other line is what you might find interesting. I've got fish. There's fish boiling around down here all the time. They're mostly little, but they're not all little. Watch this guy right here. The ones that are coming in from the left lately, they come in here just like a purple little dot. and they keep getting bigger. But not this one. The weather has been real nice last week. It got cooler over the weekend, and instantly all of the troubles were gone. The roads are letting out more trucks. I don't know what's going on here at Long Point yet, so I can't say for sure they are. But over Pine Island, the Adrian's Road, the Wigwam Road, yeah, they're letting out trucks pulling fish houses again. Not the big ones, but they're in business, all right? And as long as the weather stays like this, highs in the 20s, lows in the single digits or teens, things are going to keep getting better and better and better. With the rest of the state closing at the end of February, we'll have March and April where it looks like there's going to be a lot more fishing than I'd have said there had been even a week ago later on. Now, tomorrow's going to be cold, 14 above for a high and a low of 2 below. I'll probably stay in the house tomorrow because I've been out here a lot anyway, but then that's only going to help. And after that, we get back up into highs in the 20s and lows in the teens, and man, I love that. What traffic are they letting out at Long Point? Okay, last I heard is there's no trucks yet. And I can see over there, but it's during the week, there's nobody here. There's nobody fishing, okay? Some locals, and if they aren't letting out trucks at Long Point, you know, they shuttle you out to the houses. But I know you're wondering if you can pull a wheelhouse or something. I don't know today, so I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. But call them and find out. It's going to get better. They lowered it down to no trucks last week when pretty much everyone else did. But they said when the weather turns cooler, and the weather's cooler now, so I'm thinking you might get a better. I would say it's going to be light trucks, if anything. I am on 13 inches of ice right here. Where I am, there's 13 inches of ice. And that's all. I have a blazer on. Is this all right? You like watching this Mega Live? Look, there's another fish coming. I like when I see him, I say, oh, this is going to be a whopper. But then look, they come right through and don't do anything. So to the people who say it's not fair to use Mega Live, it's plenty fair. Fishing is hard. No, Josh, I've caught 2. Now, I don't keep 13-inch saugers, or 12.5-inch saugers, or 13-inch walleyes, because I'm here enough. I don't have to. I can't catch 6 fish a day anyway, and keep them. So I keep 14-inch saugers, 15-inch walleyes, and that narrows it down. That keeps me under the limits. Once in a while, I have a really good morning, and then, well, I got to wait till there's a fish fry or 2 to keep it. I haven't cleaned a fish in my house for a week. So I've got these 2 today, so I've finally had some room. Cold front shut the fishing down. No. Fishing is good. And for a couple of reasons, maybe. Remember, I'm talking out of my hind end here because no one really knows why the fish quit biting or why they do. Sometimes the cold front kills it. Sometimes it really gets them going. It has stayed about the same. Fishing's good. Fishing pressure is very light this year. My friend, it's crazy how he misses them. And you see, I miss more fish than I catch, for sure, especially with the little ones. But you know what hurts is when you see a nice fish on there and he comes up and smacks and you set on him and you miss that one. That kind of bothers me, but heck, that's fishing, you know. And you just don't catch them all. We want to have you guide him to see if you can teach him how to fish. Well, I'm not guiding anymore this winter. I've got a Chevy Blazer on tracks. If you watch videos, you know that I've got that. I haven't had it on the ice yet this winter. I'm in my Ranger. My big blue fish house, I had it in a couple of videos. That's in the yard. It's put away. It's all done for the year. I can't have anything big out here, and that's where you get the room to bring other people. All right, so I like taking people ice fishing, but now we got to come out in the Ranger, and across a crack that we have bridged. I'm not real comfortable with having people rely on me for things that I can't deliver. So I can get across these cracks with some help, but I don't want to be sitting out here on the day when someone wants to come fishing. We're waiting for 2 hours at a crack on the ice, to get across and get out to fishing. I've got fish all over down there. So Benjamin, have everybody watch the videos. Subscribe to the Kurt Quinnell YouTube channel. And if you can't spell Quinnell, just Google NCOR fishing videos. You'll get there. And I did 10 videos since the first of the year. Some of them are short, specific interest videos. Oh, here comes another fish. And others are the day-to-day stuff with the fishing reports. There's Lowell. That 40-incher, no, I didn't keep them. I kept one 28-incher that I got, but I put the rest of them back. I've got a big jar of fish pickles in my refrigerator now, so I don't need any more. Dan, good out of Sportsman. Boy, I tell you, fishing has been good over on the east side of the lake, over Pine. It's because there hasn't been near the pressure, not half of what is normally out there, because there hasn't been an onslaught of the big wheelhouses. That's, if you had to choose soft water, soft water. Okay, I like open water fishing better. I like ice fishing because, heck, you live in Minnesota here in the winter, and what else are you going to do all winter? I live on the shore of the lake. I'm a couple of minutes away from fishing, so yeah, I like summer way better. But wind, I hate that more in the summer. Enjoy go fishing with you this open water season. Yeah, I'll guide in the open water season. So if you want to come up and fish Lake of the Woods, get on my Facebook page, the NCOR Facebook page. Get the skinny there and get a hold of me. We'll pick a date. I know, Kurt, I scream bite at the screen all the time. I think on these Helix models there should be a button that says bite. When you get those fish around, you just push that button, and that'll do it. Those Fish Daddy Blinky Dirty Bombs were lights out. Oh, he's talking about that. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. How's fishing out of Borderview Lodge? I would think excellent. They've had a real good winter there. What part of the lake is best for big pike? Zipple Bay is really, really good for big pike, and not in the bay. Maybe in the bay now, but you could be out just a little shallower water out in the lake, and they're getting 40-inch pike every day. So that's, and the other was War Road, between War Road and Spring Steel in that bay there. That also is great pike fishing. Dan Charles came home with limit all sizes. Probably caught 90 in 3 days. Yep, fishing's good. There's a lot of little fish on Lake of the Woods. There always has been, and there hopefully always will be. After the Mega Live, what do you think Humminbird's next invention will be? Now, this isn't blowing my own horn or anything, but I always said, as soon as this Helix came out, I said, God, what are they going to do? In 5 years, there's going to be a huge improvement. What's it going to be? And about exactly 5 years later, the Mega Live came out. Well, I'd seen the Garmin Panoptix Lives with LiveScope, so I didn't realize that was going to catch on with everybody. But what are they going to do? I think it's just going to be better. As they get more power into these chips, just make better definition. Right now, if I get a big fish on here, if we see a sturgeon swim by, you'll know what it is. You'll know it's a northern. You know it's a sturgeon. You know by looking at it, because you can see the fins. Excuse me. So what they're going to do is it'll just give you more definition. That's what I think is coming next. And whatever it costs, I'm getting one. What color? I'm going to show you that right now. This is not a new thing, but there it is right there. That deal. And above that, or below that, is my, come on, jig. Now, these is things, as soon as you put them in the water, they start to blink. They blink light, all right? And they blink different colored lights, and they blink. And we've had them for years. And everyone got them. And when they first kind of came out, they didn't last very long. You'd use it one day and then they wouldn't blink anymore, okay? But now, that's a lot better. So my friend Mark started using them because he likes to use all different kinds of stuff. And he's not afraid to make a big change. So he did that, and he was catching them on his blinking light that he'd had for years. All right, and he was catching them. So he put on 2, and he was catching on both lines. So I still had 1 or 2, and I started using them, and I had on both lines, but I took it off and put on that little frosty on the other line. But now check this out. I could put a blinking light on there and then put the frosty below that too. The nice thing about this blinking light deal is you can use it with anything. Anything you drop, put a 6-inch dropper below it, and you can tie on a little jig. You can just tie on a treble hook. That's the way these latest ones that we got, they come with a treble hook on them. I cut that treble hook off and I put a little jig on the bottom. Do you use that setup for jigging or a dead stick? I pretty much have my lines hang there. Both of them are dead sticks until I see fish. And with the Mega Live, I can see a fish 12 feet in either direction. So as soon as I see a fish, then I pick up the jig and start either line. And to start, I've got a live minnow on this one on the right, and on the one on the left has got just a minnow head on that frosty. Hello from Texas, Jeff Schmidt. Coming up in March, how long of a leader do you use between the blinking light and the jig? Well, that's something I was kind of experimenting with. If I bought these in a store, and they had different length leaders on them, I would say this is obviously poor workmanship. But I don't know. If I when I tie these my own, I'll get an 8-inch leader, and I'll get a 6-inch, and I'll get a 4-inch. You can just experiment. I don't think that it matters really how long that leader is. I'd say anywhere from 4 to 6 or 7 inches is what you want. Here comes another fish. Oh, let me zoom in on this again, maybe. Can I do that? Here we go. I don't know, can you see those words if you're watching this? Dan Charles. There's reports. Oh, well, thank you. I did a show on the radio for 20 years about Lake of the Woods, and it was weekly reports and like that. So when I retired from radio and started doing this, I said, well, people still want to know what's going on. Here's a fish coming. Nice one. Come on, I'm going to catch a fish now. Come on, buddy. Don't stop. Jiggle just a little bit. He's right on it. Don't quit. Come on. So there's a lot of people out there doing fishing videos. No, come on. Come over here then. Look at how big that is. There's a big fish, and now he doesn't care. Oh, man. That's really a big fish. So if I'm fishing by myself, I really don't care to tie into a sturgeon. Okay, anyway, my fishing videos, they're all just fishing reports, all right? And I'm doing them while I'm fishing. I give you the latest information that I know from Lake of the Woods. And that's what they all are, because I'm just about always fishing the same way all summer. I fish the same way all winter. I fish the same way. There's really not much of a reason to change it. And I've got fish around here now. They're just not biting. So I'm not going to be on a different lake. I'm not going to be, well, sometimes I will try something else, but usually they're the same. What's different in my videos is they are current reports of what's going on Lake of the Woods. Oh, my Uncle Deluxe. Hey, Ronnie, Sandy, happy Valentine's Day. They're in Myrtle Beach. Where do you... He says, but I think he means buy. I think any good bait store is going to have them. But you can go on Amazon. Here we go. He bit it. Oh, man. Come on. I don't think he even got my minnow. You can go on Amazon and you can buy them. And then you tie them up however you want. You just get the light. But if you got a good bait store that you like, they should have them. And if they don't, tell them they should get them, all right? Thanks, Ben. Oh, all right. Joe's has got them. Reed's has got them. Like I said, they're all going to have them. I would think they've always been there too, but people haven't looked for them for a while. There was some quality issues at first with them. And this is 5 years ago, 6 years ago. But now, and how long do the blinking lights? I don't know how long they last. But it's kind of funny because putting them down in the water is what makes them start blinking. The water completes the circuit. So they don't blink while they're in your tackle box. They don't blink when they're in your pocket. But they blink as soon as you start putting them in the water. And that's really cool. What size fire line are you using? I use 6-pound test fire line in the winter. Now, if you're one of these guys that fishes outside, you probably don't want to use fire line. It freezes and it's hard to use outside in the cold. They make some good braid ice fishing line that doesn't, or supposedly doesn't, but I don't fish outside. So I use fire line. I use it in the summertime, and I use it in the wintertime. I used to use 10-pound fire line because it's so narrow diameter. It's about like 4 or 6-pound test mono. Anyway, so it's nice and thin, and you've got all that strength. But I bought some 8, and then I bought some 6. So I keep going down. I don't break. The fire line doesn't break very often. I use 14-pound mono for the leaders. That's what breaks. How's the burbot bite been? 6. And well, I haven't. I don't think I've caught 3 yet this winter. As soon as I got so I like them and will take them and eat them if they're big enough, then I kind of quit catching them. But they're around. I caught a real little one just last week. It's a 4 or 5 incher. I had to look close to see what it was. So I hear of burbots being caught. Maybe it's going to be later. Maybe they come on later, but it's been noticeable by their absence. You ever fish for crappies on Lake of the Woods? I did. Ooh, here comes a fish. We took snowmobiles up to Flag Island 4 years ago, and then went up into Canada and fished crappies. And that was a lot of fun. But it was a 40-mile snowmobile ride on the trails up there. You stayed at Flag Island, which is closed now. And then in the morning, you got on the snowmobiles and went 12 miles more. I realized that, boy, that's a long way to go to catch some crappies. Now, there are crappies over here suddenly, and there are people. Come on, you be a nicer fish. You see him? Sure you do. Oh, man. The Rainy River has good crappies in it, and the War Road River has good crappies in it. People are catching crappies ice fishing out in the lake. Heck, every day there's some crappies caught now. So if it keeps going this way, it may someday be worth it. I'd love to be a good crappie fisherman. I don't think that I am now, but get me around some crappies, and I'd like to give them a shot. But if you know what you're doing, the Rainy River is a good place to go fish crappies. Hey, did you see that in the video? I caught a big smallmouth bass a couple days ago. Big. Yeah. Out here in 30 feet of water on Lake of the Woods. A big smallmouth bass. Now, yesterday, buddy of mine was fishing. That's kind of why I couldn't do the live yesterday. Something else came up. Had a chance to take a guy out fishing that has his one trip a year now is with me. So he called, he was ready. So, okay, we'll do it. I'll do the live the next day. But then he caught, I would just about say that was the same fish. It was a big smallmouth bass. So I had never caught one through the ice before, ever. So that's pretty cool at this point in the game to have the first ever. There's another fish, but he's little. Lot of lookers, no takers this morning. Maybe time for a change. Hey, Gary Bennett. Well, where's the fish? It takes 1 second for a bite go from terrible to good. The fact that there are fish around is encouraging. That fish got it took off to the side. Comes another one now. Come on, bite it. Oh man, you're right there. Come on. Fish that don't bite go to fish that are biting when the time comes. Time's it now? 9:30 already. Wow. Hey, everybody, if you're just watching, I'm Kurt Quinnell on Lake of the Woods, live from my Silver Bullet Fish House. And I appreciate you being here. 104. That's about usually what we get for these lives. Scott Blasco, good morning to you. Got a fish right there. And it looks like, heck, that's a decent fish. What I would, if this bite doesn't get going, I would say it's because the skies are pretty clear and bright, and there's a wind blowing this morning. Hey, Rory. One day shuts them off, and at 1 minute to 9, there'll be no fish biting it, and at 10 after 9, you can be done. So you can move if you want. You may leave where fish are going to be biting next, and the fish, when they start biting, they may start biting all over. So you might move around 2 or 3 times, and at 10:30, when the fish start biting today, oh, good, I finally moved to where the fish were. Well, no, the fish just started biting. So 106 people out there. Hey, I appreciate it. I mentioned the videos as long as until more questions pop up. The NCOR videos are Lake of the Woods specific. They're usually very current. What's going on? Oh, look at, come on, man. It's right there. Come on. Oh, that's not a giant, but that's not a bad fish. Okay. Ooh. He's on there. He's on there. Got him. Got him. This might not keep. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, man. I got a line tangle up here too, so I'm sorry. This, of course, is what happens. Here, let's do this. Got this nice perch here. And he swam over to my other line and got tangled up. This perch is going to keep. All I've got to do is, there you go. Okay. Wow, it's going to take a little bit to get this untangled. But it is a 12-inch perch. So that could be what those fish are that have been around here, huh? So now I got 3 fish in the bucket. One of the good local neighbors, he comes out every morning, and it's 9:30, and he's on his way back in. He likes to come out and catch a couple for supper. What do you think Long Point will let anything this year? I love that. Hey, Curdy Howe. It's all gonna matter. This is not as tangled as I thought. Yeah, that 12-inch perch is a pretty good fish, but they get a lot bigger. I got a mess. All right, unmess. My mess is over. Hey, Debbie Complin. Oh, yeah. You're gonna have to call. I would think that you may not see wheelhouses, or at least the big ones, at Long Point this year. Now, the guys at Long Point, they're awesome. They're going to do what they can. If they wind up pulling the wheelhouses out with maybe their Ranger on a dolly, I guess I could see them maybe doing that. I've got to get this baited up again. I don't bring out a million minnows every day. With only a few in the bucket, sometimes they're hard to catch. All right, I haven't shown you this line. This is the blinking light right here, see it? And I'm going to say that's probably 5 inches below that. I've got that little yellow. And I finally found out what they are. You may have a hard time getting them. This is a 1/4 ounce. Okay? These are 1/4 ounce tungsten jigs. And that's one of the other things you can hang below those blinking light lures. You can put a treble hook on there. You can put a plain hook with a live minnow on it. You can put a small jig. You can put tungsten. You can put a little jigging spoon on there. That blinking light just is an attractor. And I think maybe you would catch fish if you didn't use the blinking light. But as fishermen, we all like to buy stuff. So you threw out all your blinking lights 10 years ago. It's time to go to the store and get some more. Do you always use a piece of gulp to keep the minnow head on? No, I get lazy and I don't. I didn't do it on this one, but I was doing it yesterday. Here's the gulp. Right here, I keep the jar by me. And I'm not sponsored by Berkeley, but this is a little piece of gulp red worm. See that? See the focus on it? It's a little piece of worm. You put the minnow head on the treble hook of your jigging spoon, and then behind that, just put that little tiny 1/4 inch piece of gulp. If you have used minnow heads on jigging spoon, you know, you jig them around, you reel up, and the head falls off. Well, it won't fall off if that gulp is hanging onto it. 9:39. Hey, good morning from Lake of the Woods. Thanks for being here on the live. The ice at Long Point is real good. It's just not real thick. There's one crack coming through here still. But that's under control. It's windy this morning, wind coming offshore. So I was out here in the first hour, the ice was cracking a lot. This wind is, I'm glad we haven't had a lot of wind because it can cause some troubles. So I'm on 13 inches of ice here. Where I was previously, I was on 15. And then the spot before that was 17. I don't know that you'd find a lot more than 17, maybe anywhere. And if you did, if you found 20, fine. But you're still going to find some 13. That's why I haven't used my track machine. That's why you're not seeing a lot of trucks pulling wheelhouses around out here. You just can't do it. How much snow is on the ice? Well, almost none. You can use a Ranger and go anywhere you want. If you watch that last video that I did just yesterday, I put the camera out the window. It snowed a little bit last night, so there's a couple of little tiny drifts, but seriously, conditions are great. We were supposed to have a bunch of snow at some point in the winter, and we really haven't had any yet. Mark? No, my wife doesn't like to go on the ice. She won't. I think in the almost 50 years we've been married, she maybe has been out on the ice once, and I don't think she realized we were on the ice when that happened. She doesn't care for it. So while I fish, she's at home in peace and quiet, and I'm out here in peace and quiet. So there you go. Dave? I'm sorry, I got something on my tongue. Do you use bobbers on your lines? I do not. As soon as I started using a flasher, I thought, well, what do I want this bobber for? I know where my line is, and I'm watching all the time. If I was going to leave a line unattended, I would put a bobber on so you could check once in a while to see if the bobber's still there. Well, I don't want all the bobber manufacturers to come and murder me because people are still going to use bobbers. But I don't. I was fishing with a guy recently who got one of them depth bombs, and I said, we don't need that. Watch on the screen. That'll tell you right where your bait is. So I just don't use bobbers anymore. Not that I don't love bobbers. I think what a great thing they are. But it's one less thing to have. Now, what I've got here is I use these Limit Creek Smoothie fishing rods, all right? And there's a lot of good fishing rods. This is just what I use. Now, this tip is fine. A fish can bite and pull that thing 6-7 inches, no problem, and not feel any kind of resistance, even with the fire line. So I just let them hang. And if I look over and my rod's bouncing, well, then I just fell asleep at the switch and getting a break without it. So, no, I don't use bobbers. And here's the other thing, and this has got nothing to do with the bobber people. When I do use a bobber, 99 out of 100 times that bobber goes down, I set the hook and there's nothing there. That's just me. Life is frustrating enough. If the bobber goes down, doggone it, you should catch a fish. And I just don't. I can wait, you watch it go, swim around a little bit, down, and set the hook. Nothing there. We're dealing with a lot of little fish. Without a bobber, I am tied right to the fish. It's a straight line down, not through a bobber and then to the fish, but this is a straight shot down. And I miss a lot of fish anyway, but I don't have to keep resetting a bobber and making the depth just right. Nothing wrong with using a bobber, I just don't. What pound fire line? I use 6 pound. And for ice fishing, I would use 4. But 6 pound test fire line is very, very thin. I would think maybe 4 might get to the area where you're hard to tie. I like fire line because it's a little stiff. They've got some braids that are so soft and wonderful. Here comes one. But they're hard to deal with, especially talk about 6 pound, 4 pound, 2 pound test line. It's hard to tie. So I've settled on 6. Come on up, buddy. Come on, I'll go the other way. I'll get you back on the Mega Live for a while here, okay? Got a fish coming in on, but he is little. You get used to these little guys. So I hope I finished up my spiel on the Kurt Quinnell YouTube channel. You can, maybe you don't want to do this, but if you're on a day where you haven't got a lot going on, you can go back to the beginning of ice fishing and watch every ice fishing video that we've done. You take it from the first ice you're out there when you're talking about real skinny ice. That fish, see there, he got off. He was just a little guy, but he took it and he ran over to the side. I don't think he even took my minnow. What are they hanging on to? Yeah, the minnow's still fine. And watch every video. And you can kind of see the progression. Again, I'm in the same house doing it. This fish is still coming back around. All right, I got him here. And I'll show you. Maybe I will if he didn't get off. He's not getting off. Whoop, he did get off. It was a little 8-inch walleye. Dropped off just as I was pulling him out of the hole. Which is good. I'm glad he got away. Yes, we're talking about the fire line. A 6-pound test fire line will handle anything. Anything. We caught 45-pound sturgeon, probably bigger sturgeon on 6-pound test fire line. You've got to, and we've not gotten them on that, but you just be careful. Don't be in too big a hurry. Yeah, fire line doesn't fail. There's a nice fish coming in here now. 9:46. You think we would get, but if you got one nice fish every hour, it would, there'd be a lot more people up here fishing than there already are. And you can look back to the beginning of the year, the ice fishing videos. You go back next year to see what February's like, because February it was never exactly the same, but fishing in February is fishing in February. So last February, the February before that should be about the same thing. Why do you hook the minnow through the tail instead of the head and pinching it off when jigging? If I've got it on the jigging spoon, I'll hook it through the head and I pinch it off. I've often wondered why we do that. You could, well, here, I'll show you. Maybe I did already, but I'll show you again. I should check this bait anyway. You don't need a long piece of, I see, there's that minnow. Hook him through the head and then pinch it off. You don't need a long hunk of minnow. You just need the meat on there. And that, since it's a head, he's dead, and it's just meat. So the jigging spoon attracts him in, and the meat is enticing him to fish. This is the jigging line. Talked about the 2 lines, you know. Morning, sister. And on the other line, I've got that little jig underneath the blinking light, and I let that hang there and let that minnow kick around a little bit. Here comes one. Come on. Boy, they're coming through and not caring. But that's why I do that, okay? Yeah. Got the Browns Valley connection out here this morning. Lowell, appreciate it. Okay, let's go back this way. Oh, no. I gotta go back. There's a nice fish coming in from the side. Now, he may go down to the bottom and disappear. But I hope he keeps coming this way. That's too much. Oh! Okay. No, that fish went the other way. Well, there's nicer fish around here. All right. So I hope I answered the question about hooking the minnow. You can hook the minnows anywhere you want them. I hook them through the tail when I want to keep them alive because, heck, ever since I was a kid, if I hook them underneath that dorsal fin, I invariably get the hook through the backbone, kills them, and they're dead on there. They don't kick around too much. Some people hook them behind the head through the top, and that works. However you want to hook your minnows is fine. I'm not saying anything works better than anything else, but I'm just saying that that's the way I do it. It's not even that important to keep that minnow on your jig alive. You could just, it's meat. You get a fish around, but if you got that jigging spoon, you get a little bit more flash. It's a little bigger piece. That may call in some fish. If you've got a plain hook down, or if you've got a small jig, the minnow is the star of the show. So if you've got a minnow that's good and lively, that would seem that's better than one that's not. Do you think Mega Live might scare fish away? Boy, John, I'm glad you asked that. I saw that. I know people who, when they're fishing in the summertime with their regular old cockpit depth finder, helix, Rant, anything, they shut it off because they say, oh yeah, that scares the fish away. I'm not a scientist, and I don't know, but I think that's 100% baloney. No, we've been watching fish come through here all day. They don't swim into the cone and go, oh my God, what's going on? And swim away. Now, there are some pretty big time guys that are big in the fishing industry that say, oh yeah, I think it might scare the fish away. Well, if fish were that scared, we'd never catch one. And it doesn't scare all the fish away. If it scared some of the fish away, fine. But no, we're catching fish underneath them all the time. And I've never seen where fish have come in and gone, ooh, and took off. If I hit them on the nose with a jig once in a while, they'll take off like that. But I think no. But I don't know that. Ariel, Griffs, hi. Thanks for being here. And to everyone else, we're back up to 110 people out there. This will be available. It's 10 to 10 already. An hour goes by fast. I suppose at 10:10 I'll get another good bite. But I've got 3 that I've kept this morning. In a morning, when I come out here and fish from 7:45 until 10 or 10:30, I get 3 or maybe 4. And they are varying in size. I don't keep the little guys, but they're all keepers. So a lot of days I'll come out and I won't keep my 3 or 4 that I keep. Once in a while you get so that your 4 come quick and they come big. Same spot, day to day. One day it's better, one day not. Very shallow water, less than 6 feet. I've seen it impact fish. Well, there you go, Bob. That would absolutely leave me out. And maybe that's what they're talking about. I don't see with 6 feet of water. You no way you can see 12 feet out either way. You can maybe turn it to go one way. How often do you mix it up with change of colors, especially if they are finicky? Hardly ever, Brad. Hardly ever. Really? I missed that. Grandpa Jimmy's from Beardsley? Geez, I fished all day with the guy and he never said anything about that. Good cripes. Hey, Steve Carson. They're coming this weekend. Next Wednesday, probably out of Adrian's Wigwam. Where are they biting? Adrian's Road has been really good. Wigwam has been really good. They managed to stay on fish, heck, all winter. Either that or they're the ones that stay best on social media, but that's good. If I was coming up here and didn't live here, and there's probably several places that I would go and fish, and that would be one of them. What size and color frosty jigging spoon do you use? I have no idea. Probably the only size I've ever seen. If I had a package out here, I would. Let me see. Well, here. Yeah, I can do this. Roll. Okay. This frosty. There it is right there. Here's my finger. It's probably an inch long, right? That's what size. This thing hasn't seen a package 15 years. The package is long gone. Seem to use frozen shiners in the summer and live bait in the winter. Bingo, Scott. 100%. I use dead frozen shiners all summer. I don't have a live minnow in the boat. I very rarely have a leech in the boat. Very rarely do I have a night crawler in the boat. Frozen shiners, just about all you need. And if it's not all you need, anything else you have is fine, but you better have some frozen shiners in the boat. Well, I jig all summer, so that's kind of why. But in the wintertime, because I have one line with a jig, I like a live minnow on that. So I just use chubs. It seemed like it's fine. You don't go through near as many minnows in the wintertime as you do in the summer. Not near. So if I bring a package of frozen shiner minnows out, I'll use 5 or 6 of them. And then so you leave them there and they thaw out and they freeze and they thaw. So you wind up throwing a whole package away. So I don't use the dead bait in the winter, but I use it in the summer. Frank, keep the videos coming. I will. From 8 to 9, fishing was pretty good. I had fish and nice fish coming through, not all the time, but pretty steady through it all. With just a few minutes left, I just want to always remind people of this. There's a big push, and I guess it probably won't be so bad this winter because of the much less people fishing. Keep it clean when you are done fishing. When you're pulling your skid house off, when you're folding up your hub, when you're getting your fish house, portable fish house ready to go, or if you're pulling your ice castle off, police the area. Make sure that you haven't left anything behind. Get your blocking blocks out. Any paper bags, any poop bags, make sure you bring that stuff. And there's a new law in Minnesota, so even while you're fishing, you can't have your garbage sitting out on the ice, which I think is a great idea. It probably should have always been that way. But you've got to do something with it, but make sure that you take it with you when you're gone. It's called Keep It Clean. The deal it actually started here on Lake of the Woods, and now it's statewide, and the Keep It Clean law, that there was, this is the first winter for that, really outlines what you should and shouldn't be doing. Now, it's never been legal to leave a bunch of stuff on the ice. Littering on the ice has always been bad. But this new law specifically lets you know what they should, and you shouldn't leave a mess. It takes a couple of minutes. I moved my house one day, and I was 100 yards away pulling the silver house, and I said, wait a minute. I didn't pick up my block, so I unhooked the house, went back with my chisel bar and knocked it, and it took longer to drive back to where the blocks were, and they were frozen in, than it took me to chip them out and get them out of there. So it's easy to do. All you've got to do, just like keep it clean in the summertime, just like clean, drain, and dry in the summertime, keep it clean in the wintertime. We'll just get it to be front of mind when you're doing it. And that's kind of one of my whole reasons for being here on these Facebook Lives for you in the winter, too. Well, it is 9:59, and I think we'll wrap this one up. Got that one perch and one little one, but it was, there were fish around a good lot of times. So I hope that I answered your question. I think I did. But I really appreciate this and hope I can scratch the itch for you a little bit. If you're not coming fishing, if you are coming fishing, I've got information that I can give you all the time. All right, and if you're not coming, well, let's catch a fish right when we get down here. One more fish coming in. I'll give him like 10 seconds. He is right underneath there. Okay, well, if I catch it, it's a whopper, I'll take a picture and we'll put it up here, all right? Okay. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you out here somewhere on the ice, all right?